Hello to all my listeners. This is Karen Fay, the original well woman. This is part 2 of me explaining to you who I am and what I've accomplished in the past 46 years. Just to recap for a second, I told you in my last video who I was, that in 1980, I was 30 years old, 200 pounds. I was an 11-to-7 intensive care nurse taking care of people that were dying that shouldn't have in their 50s and 60s. But what happened to me was I saw myself at 30 years old and a mother of 3 children and a wife and a community person becoming one of my own patients. So what I did was I set out to do something about it. I'd been a volunteer patient in a research project at Mass General for failed thyroids. I was a guinea pig. And what came out of that study, I was not in that study for them to correct me, only for them to learn from me. And I went home 2 days before Thanksgiving, the most major eating holiday of the American lifestyle, to change my life. And what had happened was I worked on nutrition and fitness. Nothing was written in 1980. So much is written today. There were no role models. There was nobody. So I did it myself. I changed my life. I lost an amazing 80 pounds in 8 months and became very sought after by the average person for me to help them, because when you're overweight or unfit, what happens is disease begins. It all begins on the cellular level, and I knew that in 1980, and that's why I set forth for that transformation, to correct myself. From there, I realized I had a huge responsibility to help people, and from there, I kept accomplishing and accomplishing. Prevention Magazine picked up the fact that I had done this. They put me in their magazine twice. Not only that, they wrote 2 books about me. One of them was Age Erasers for Women, and the other one was Healing Through Food. And then I was on television a good number of times in New York City, and many times. I was in the gym constantly, working out, taking care of myself, and a bodybuilder, but not for stage bodybuilding, to build this body, to turn it into an amazing functioning machine, which is what it is. So from there, my son was in college at that time. We formed a very unusual team, mother and son powerlifters. We were written up in Powerlifting Magazine because they asked us, how did you get your mother involved in powerlifting? And David said, I didn't get my mother involved, she got me involved. I was also a race walking medalist. I won medals at Brown University and MIT, and I was in the old age category. I was in the over 40 category, and I beat people years younger than me, and that was a great accomplishment. And I was also Mrs. Massachusetts, never to use the crown as a beauty queen, but to open the doors to teach people that if I could do this, being 200 pounds at 30 years old, having 3 children, you can set forth, lose 5 pounds, take care of yourself, and that's where I stand today. All of these things that I've accomplished belong to you, and I am here as the original well woman to teach you how to care for yourself on the cellular level. And I want you to come to me, I want you to ask questions, and I'm going to be teaching you how to clean up those cells, all those cells that are full of toxins, how to get rid of them. I partnered up with a company called Do Not Age, which is the world's best organization. They are a research organization based out of London, and I have never in 46 years associated myself with anybody because nobody was worthy enough to put my name associated with. This company is backed up by science and real research scientists. So in the coming weeks, I'll be telling you more. To your good health, this is Karen Fay, the original well woman.